How you all doing today? You tuned into NBA Indie Reviews, and today going to be reviewing the Boya K9 Condenser Microphone. Let's get to the product review. So today I actually want to review the Boya K9. It's a condenser microphone. Try to get it in the camera a little bit. It does have, on the backside, it does have the part where you plug in the USB Type-C and the microphone head jack where you can monitor the sound. I'll show you in a moment, but if you click on top and hold it, it'll add the noise cancellation. And if you click on top and hold it, it'll take the noise cancellation off. And on the bottom, if you click on the bottom, it'll change the RGB lights to the different colors. So that's one thing I like about it. And also, it has 3 different audio modes. It has where it gets everything in the room, and then it has the setting where it just gets you in front of the microphone, and then it gives off the polar pattern where it gives off somebody from the front and the back. So it can do the whole microphone, I mean the whole room, and then it can do just you, pop filter right here, and then it has a setting where it does just you in front and somebody else behind it. So that's actually a neat feature to have for somebody who may want to get into maybe wanting to do like a podcast, and maybe you don't have enough microphones for everybody, but you do want to have everybody kind of fairly close to talking to the microphone. And also too, even if I was going to say if you're in an environment where you can't control the noise in the room, but it doesn't even matter because this microphone has the noise cancellation where it cancels out the noise around you. So let's give it a try real quick. Mic check 1 2. Exciting microphone that I actually want to review for you all today is the Boya K9. Hold it up, and one of the first things that you'll notice, this is an extremely big microphone. It's a nice size microphone, and I think it's that size really because it does a lot. I believe it has cancellation features in here where it cancels noise in the room. I actually don't have it on right now. Usually I put a noise gate or a noise reduction plugin on my videos on YouTube or my podcast, but for this video I won't do that, because if I do that, when I cut on the noise reduction feature on the microphone, you actually won't be able to tell the difference. So for the purposes of this reviewing this video, I'm not going to cut it on. I'm going to leave it off. So forgive me if you hear a little more room noises than usual, but it's just for the purposes of this video and the review. Normally those who watch my videos, I put out a great product, mainly because I am, in the audio field by hobby. But no, on a serious note, I've been around audio for over 12 years now. I've done recording, mastering, artists, bands, podcasts, church sermons, lectures. So I'm pretty versatile in the audio world. And, many of those who know me personally, I always tell people I'm an audio geek. I love audio, anything audio. I love it. Mics, DJ controllers, mixers, audio interfaces, any type of monitor, as far as speakers, I love it. DJ vinyl, I love it all, So anyways, enough about that. This microphone, for people who are familiar with my channel, you know that I'm not a big fan of condenser microphones, never have been, as it relates to video content, like sitting in your office or studio recording a video for the purposes of YouTube. I'm not really a big fan of using condenser microphones. I prefer dynamic microphones, and for the purposes of that is because it doesn't pick up room noise. Like right now during this video, this normally I would not do this, because I don't like the fact that they're more sensitive than microphones, condenser microphones are, and because of that they tend to pick up more noise in the room. And even now I'm back a good ways from the microphone, but it's probably still going to be loud. But for the purpose of the video, that's wonderful. So some of you may ask, well, you just gave us this long spiel about how you're not a big fan of condenser microphones, yet you have one that you're reviewing. And you would be correct. One of the things about this microphone that actually changes the game, what we thought about condenser microphones, is that if you hold this button right now, the light will flash. And then it'll pause. When the light flashes, and it adds on the noise reduction. It's kind of like, really, essentially what they did was, if people who do audio, or if you use Zoom or if you use Google Meets, they have an audio reduction feature in the actual software. And many audio softwares and video softwares have that. I use DaVinci Resolve. They have a noise compression if you're editing a video and it's too loud, or maybe somebody was playing some music in the background but they were far off in the distance and you don't want to be able to get that in audio. You put that plug-in on the audio track in your video and it cuts out the background noise for the most part. Essentially, what they've done is that they've just put it in the actual device. So now you don't have to use those kind of features if you're editing audio, if you're on a Zoom call or Google Meets call, because it's actually in the microphone already. And again, this is a big microphone. The microphone's, it's a nice size. I measured it. it's a little over 9 inches for this microphone, but I think again it's that size because it does a lot. It has, I mean, this microphone, it's probably a walking talking interface, to be honest. Like you can plug it into your phone, give or take. You have to have a USB hub, which I have right here. You have to have a USB hub, and this is USB, and it can become a Type C. But as you see, it has 6 different ports, and I use that whenever I record videos on my phone. I'll use that USB hub because if you plug it directly into your phone, I noticed that it doesn't really work too well. So I had a USB hub and then it worked. So this is actually great for your phones, tablets, Chromebooks, computers, anything. And again, one of the things I'll say that about the microphone that it's very confusing is that usually this is ways down and this way is up, but it's the opposite. It's left is up and right is down. So, but it's a small adjustment, nothing that's you won't figure out when you if you purchase the microphone. Nothing you won't figure out. You know, especially a lot of us we're used to is it a righty tighty lefty loosey, but this one is like the opposite. So, but if you tap the bottom, it changes the colors of the lights. See, it does that. And right now, I'm gonna tap the top of the microphone, and you'll notice that it'll flash and then it'll stop. Well, I'll tap the top first to mute the audio because it has a mute button right here. You tap it and you can hear me back. But if right here it has a number on top, I mean letters E and C, and I'm assuming that means noise. I'm assuming that means noise cancellation. It's what that means. So again, if you hold the top, it'll flash, and right now the noise reduction actually is on. So you probably hear a big difference in my room. You notice that there's no noise. Now, I will say that one of the reasons why, again, I talked about it on my last product review. One of the reasons why I'm really against noise reduction softwares that have noise reduction or a plugin or audio, usually if they're cheap. I have a noise reduction plugin that I use for my videos and also for audio for podcasts when I edit for myself and people, and that plugin is like $299. But it removes like background noises. Even if someone was like 10 yards away and they were screaming at me, I can make it seem like they're right in my face. Or they were like if they were recording in studio. So I invest money in plugins. I'm not saying that to brag. I'm just saying that to say that somebody from my perspective who actually uses nice plugins that remove background noises, I'm not somebody that would probably like something like this. Even now, I'm kind of as I'm hearing it, the audio kind of monitor back. I don't actually like the way that it kind of kills the noise. I don't really like it, you know. And that's the thing is that oftentimes when you use the actual plugin for noise reduction, you can kind of monitor in a way how it kills the noise and when you just use a software that has it already embedded in the software like Zoom or Google Meets or even this microphone that has it embedded in the device, you can't really control that. But I will say the caveat is that if you're in a noisy environment or a loud environment and you're talking on Zoom business call, or if you're on a Bible study, sometimes we do Bible study on Zoom. Sometimes me and wife, we also talk to people on Google Meets. The benefit of having this microphone is that if it's loud in your environment or when your kid comes down to ask you a question, like my kid just did and had to pause or cut it out the video, it's like you never hear them. So that's the benefit of this microphone. This microphone, it is $90 on the Boya website. Now, what's strange about this microphone is that to date of this video, they don't have any American reviewing this microphone. A lot of the videos that I watch on YouTube were people in I believe they were Indian or some or Asian. I'm not really sure of the language, but I noticed that there was really no one who was American who was actually reviewing this microphone. But one of the things that I like about this microphone is the noise cancellation. Again, yes, I know what I said is kind of is an oxymoron because it's like, well, you just said, yes, I understand what I just said. And I mean that in the context of making videos, doing content creation videos. I don't like using condenser microphones, especially I wouldn't like to use a condenser microphone and have this noise cancellation device on. But yes, I would love to use it, which is why I bought the microphone. I would use it, and I'm going to use it for a video. I have used it, gonna continue to use it for video calls or Bible study calls or business calls that I have Zoom or Google Meets. It's wonderful for that, and that's really the reason why I use condenser microphones, to be truthful. I have a condenser microphone that I reviewed in the past, Fine Alpha, meaning A8, the letter 8, and I use that for video conference calls, Bible study calls, business calls. It's wonderful. For those kind of calls, I don't want to have a microphone in my face, which is why usually for business calls or Bible study calls, I usually use a condenser microphone. Like I can set it down somewhere and just talk, but for the purpose of this video, let me pick it back up. But yeah, so for any of those who had seen this microphone, it was wondering about it, it is a good microphone. I think it will become popular amongst content creators because of what I just said. One of the things that I realized, and I'm not oblivious to, because like I said, I have a wife and she does content creation as well. I'll leave a link to her TikTok page. She's a stay-at-home mom. She homeschools our children, and she posts things like homeschool stuff and stay-at-home mom stuff on her TikTok page. But one of the things that I'll say is that my wife, she does content as well. So one of the things that I'm not oblivious to is that you do have people who do content creation. They're not video specialists or audio specialists, and they don't care about, well, you can use that plugin, and they don't care about all that. They don't even want to hear that. They just want to say, hey, give me a microphone that I could use right now to record and put out good content with good audio quality. That's all they care about. And my wife is one of those people. I know several people like that in my family and friends that I have. And they're like, listen, I know you the audio guy. I don't care about all that. I just want you to send me something via text or email that I can use to make videos on TikTok or YouTube, and it puts out good audio quality. And I'm like, okay, cool, I understand that. So I'm totally aware that there's people out there who don't care or look at it from the perspective that I approach. So, and again, for my wife, she'll probably be using this microphone as well for her videos. So Dale from again, this is a great microphone. I bought it. Really, I got it because I've never seen a condenser microphone that has noise cancellation on it. And really, what it really feels like to me is it feels like a hybrid between a dynamic microphone and a condenser microphone. And I'll tell you why. Why do people use dynamic microphones? They use dynamic microphones because they have low noise sensitivity. The caveat to that is, or the disadvantage to that is, should I say, is normally if you have a podcast, you have to actually bring up the audio in post-production. Or a lot of people, you can use a cloud lifter, which is it is a dynamic microphone preamp, which I've talked about those two on my channels. Go to my channel and you can watch. If I'll put the review up above, you can see the review of that. But a dynamic mic preamp is essentially something you either put on the mixer board or the microphone, and it gives you a boost of minus 28 dB a gain. So it boosts the signal of the dynamic microphone because it's naturally low. So by creating a microphone that is condenser, but it cuts out background noises, you've essentially created a hybrid microphone because I have the best of both worlds. I have a microphone that I don't need a cloud lifter or to boost the audio in post-production because it's already sensitive because it's a condenser microphone. And so that's the condenser side of it. The dynamic part about it, the dynamic microphone side of it, is that it also kills background noises. Oftentimes, I've mentioned before on different reviews on MD Review, is that one of the reasons why I use a dynamic microphone, with one of being the low noise sensitivity, is that if one of my kids come down here and ask me a question like they just did, and I have to cut out a video, the microphone never picks it up. So that's the benefit of me using dynamic microphone when doing YouTube content. So thank you guys for watching this review. Again, this is the Boya, and I have the box right here. I'm sorry. The box right here, Boya K9, the Boya K9. And they do have a few different microphones in this lineup. I'm not sure if they have noise cancellation, so that you have to kind of do your own homework. I don't believe they do. That's one of the things I looked for. This is actually one of the reasons why I ended up getting this microphone specifically, because on their website, it's kind of advertised as having the noise reduction feature put inside of it. So that's one of the reasons. Again, that's one of the reasons why I got it for the Zoom calls, Bible study calls, and business calls. So again, definitely any reviews. I hope you enjoyed the review of the Boya K9. Please subscribe to my channel. Please like the video. Please share the video. Until next time, peace.